I refuse to continue to gaslight people and tell them all that matters is hard work and what's on the inside. We're on a floating rock. Put yourself together. We have a strange cultural habit of pretending like how we present ourselves to the world is not important. And I am here to tell you that this is not going to be a video where I say, oh, the only thing that matters is what's on the inside. It matters so much more than how you are on the outside. I feel like people who continue to lie and tell people that are gaslighting them, and they're doing them a disservice. The truth is, people who take care of their appearance, people who present a certain way, they move through the world with so much more ease than people who do not. And that, my friends, is the honest truth. And I think one of the main reasons why this happens is how people present to other people is an outward manifestation of how they feel inward. And I feel like a lot of people don't understand that's what's happening in their brain, right? When they're looking at someone and they're like, oh, wow, like suddenly you're giving this person so much more respect because of the way that they're dressed, so much more respect because of the way that they are presenting themselves, so much more respect because of something that they're wearing or how they're coming across to you than what they have earned. Because truth is, they could have came to you in tattered robes and still been the same person, but you have decided to treat them differently because of the way that they present. We live in a world where perception is everything. Perception is key. It used to be, it's not about what is right or wrong, but what you could prove. No, it is now. It's not about what's right or wrong or even what you can prove. It's what you can make people believe. And how people believe comes from their perception of you. And unfortunately, when you fail to take care of yourself, you become a victim of other people's perception. When you fail to write the story of yourself and how you want people to view you, you become a victim to being whatever they decide to see you as. If you like this video, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. I want to create more content for women specifically to help them bring their inner beauty outward and their outer beauty inward. I have a regular corporate job, and sometimes I come in with heels, hair done, earrings, makeup, with a really nice outfit, and I can almost feel the women around me tugging at their clothes. And sometimes they might even make comments like, oh, wow, I think I should probably dress a little bit better. Same thing happened when I was in grad school and people didn't know that I was coming from work and I would go to class and everybody would start tugging at their clothes like, well, maybe I should dress up a little bit more. The women who come, the people who take care of themselves, they cause a ripple effect. They cause everybody else around them to start to look at themselves and see where can I improve, right? I like the way she looks. I want to be like that. And sometimes that can come with a little bit of envy. It comes with people not really knowing how to deal with the fact that, oh, I just admire this person. So sometimes it might breed a little bit of jealousy or animosity, but that's not your fault, right? So we're never going to really worry that much about what other people do. What I can do is show you something. I can't tell you how to interpret it. So what we're never going to do is worry about the way that other people are going to receive how we come off. We live in a culture that will look at a person who is taking care of themselves and call them self-centered or self-focused or anything that kind of attaches some kind of wrongdoing to their moral compass simply because they take care of themselves. Have you ever noticed that they don't necessarily ask the person who doesn't dress nice or ask the person who doesn't present a certain way about their morality? They never ask, but are you a good person? What really matters is what's on the inside. No. Why? Because they put more moral focus on people who present a certain way. If you're attractive conventionally, if you dress a certain way, if you have certain things, they put more moral focus on you than they would put on anybody else. But the truth of the matter is, if you want to neglect yourself, that does not show humility. It's honestly itself a humbling tactic, right? What they're trying to do is get you to bring yourself a few notches just so that you can appease them and not make them feel insecure about themselves. But I'm here to tell you that no amount of putting yourself down or dumbing yourself down or dulling your shine as a diamond is going to help you become more humble or help you with humility. What people do not understand is that working on your body, Working on your outward appearance, working on all of these things shows self-actualization of who you really are on the inside. It used to be that when I saw people starting to feel insecure around me, I would then start to shrink myself. And unfortunately, that caused a lot of disassociation between me and my body. It became sort of a mind-body disassociation because no longer was I displaying who I really felt like I was on the inside. At the expense of myself, I wanted to appease other people and I did not want them to feel uncomfortable. Like, I even had family members who would like pick on me a little bit, like, oh, you think you're all that? You think you're cute? You think you're that? And it did cause me to shrink. I even had friends who, whenever I would be around their boyfriends or, you know, we would go out and, you know, we're in high school or like college or whatever, and suddenly they will feel very insecure around me or say, oh, make sure you don't do this around my boyfriend. And mind you, I was never one to be boy crazy. I didn't even have my first real experiences until I was in my 20s. So I was never boy crazy. So they would say, oh, don't face your body towards my man. Like, so I'm a very, very curvy girl. Like, I have really, you know, I'm a little thick down there, right? And they would say, don't face your whatever towards my man. Okay. Like, I mean, and it did cause me to shrink. It caused me to feel very disassociated with my body. Like, people don't understand that when you have trauma in the human mind, sometimes the human mind will see other things about you as a threat. Like me, I saw my physical body as a threat because ever since I could remember, people would pick on me. People would talk about it. They would be like, oh, your butt is so big. Oh, this. I just saw it as a threat. And I almost wanted to kind of like shed my body and shed my skin. It caused me to starve. It caused me to gain weight. At some point, I was really, really big. Like, whatever you thought I was, like, kind of add an extra 25 pounds. I had become so disassociated with my body. I hated my body. And it was not because I inherently hated my body. It was because I listened to the people around me that wanted me to shrink because they felt like I was too this, I was too that, and I was too this. And unfortunately, I didn't really have a mother around that could help me. Like, I look exactly like my mother. I'm pretty sure that if my mother was still alive, she would be more equipped to help me navigate through life. But no, unfortunately, I didn't have that protection, that beautification protection that of what a woman will have if she was coming into the shoes of her mother that looks exactly like her. I think a lot of people want to look a certain way, but they don't really understand the amount of discipline, the amount of consistency that it takes. So what I mean by that is people are like, oh my goodness, I want to wake up and do my hair, or oh, I want to go to the gym, oh, I want to do these things, but they don't necessarily actually want to implement these things. They don't really realize that to be beautiful, it takes work. To take care of your appearance, it takes work. And to keep yourself together, it takes work. And unfortunately, that's why a lot of people don't get where they want to go. They fail to realize that your outward appearance, number one, is an inward manifestation outwardly, number one, but also your outward appearance can also kind of determine your destiny. People don't think about that, right? When you look at all these successful people, what is one thing they always have in common? I'll give you a hint. They keep themselves together. I think even Adam Sandler, I don't know, at some point he was put together, even if now he doesn't care. He's a millionaire. He doesn't have to care, right? You're not. You do have to care. At some point he stopped caring, but at that point he had already done what he needed to do, right? Every single successful person around us has one thing in common. And it is they have cultivated the way that they look. Now, they don't necessarily have to be beautiful. If you notice today, I will not be talking that much about actual beauty because I personally do not believe that there are any ugly people. There's just people who I might not prefer. There's people that other people prefer. I do not believe in ugly people. Any person around me knows, and they will never say that I have ever called anybody ugly. I do not believe in ugly people. So it's not about what is socially acceptable or where you land appearance wise when it comes to that. However, I have no problem discussing actual beauty, but when it comes to appearance, one thing that all successful people have in common is that they're clean cut, they take care of their hair, they take care of their nails, and even if it's not perfect, even if it's every curl is not creme and every lash is not in place, there's still something in a methodology that they have going for themselves that keeps them looking good. So make sure that you find something that works for you. You need to do a self audit of where you are now. You need to think about where you want to be, and you need to think about how you're going to close that gap. But ultimately, when it comes to discipline, your body, your outward appearance is an inward manifestation, and what it also will show is your habits, right? One thing that I've always done when I was little, like whenever I was like 12 or whatever, that was when I got really into girl things. I would like polish my nails, I would curl my hair, I would put little bows in my hair and things like that. I had to learn how to do those things on my own. That's one thing that everybody will say. Like the other day, I think I went a little viral on a social media, and one of the girls, when I went to school with her, I think we went to maybe elementary school or like middle school together, she said straight up, she was like, "Oh my goodness, you always remind me of Blair Wardolph." Like ever since you were little, like I always took care of myself because I don't know, it just kind of taught me something. It always made me feel good. And when I stopped doing that, I was depressed. And I want to say I got depressed. Like it was the darkest time of my life. That is simply because what I was seeing on the outside was not matching who I felt like I was on the inside. It's not about vanity. It's not about self-centeredness, even though I don't think there's anything wrong with being self-centered personally, because the world does revolve around you if you stand up straight. It really does. It's spinning and you're standing right there and it's spinning. And so it just reminded me of all the things I used to do when I was little. Like, girl, get up, right? Go put your lashes on. Go, even if you don't want to wear lashes, girl, put some mascara on. Oh, don't want to wear mascara? Do your face. Put something together. Put on something. Like, I wear a little bit of BB cream. Like, people don't realize, like, when it comes to my makeup, I really don't wear too much foundation. I might put some blush on and some concealer, but I take care of my skin because that's where it starts off. I understand that my outward appearance, it shows my habits, and it also will pave the way for where I'm going. I get opportunities because I'm cute sometimes or because I'm put together. People at work might see me a certain way and see me more capable than I actually am sometimes. Not to say that I don't put in the work. I most certainly put in the work. But when I was putting in the work I didn't put myself together, I had to work 3 times as hard, which is why I refuse to continue to gaslight people and tell them, all that matters is hard work and what's on the inside. We're on a floating fucking rock. Put yourself together, right? See how far you can go. See all the things you can see. You only have now and then the day you pass away. The only thing that you have in this world is to live and die. Whatever is in between is up to you. And what I decide to do with myself is to see myself the best way possible. I want to show up the best way I possibly can. So let's discuss what it was like for me to lose 50 pounds and the self-realization and actualization that has come forth. Now, I think at this point, I've lost about 55 pounds, and I will be transparent. In the beginning, I did use some GLP-1s, not for that long. I honestly had some hormonal issues, and I think it was just exacerbated by the sheer amount of weight that I had on my body. My life was going downhill. I don't know who needs to tell you guys this, but there is a reason why you don't ever see really buff bums. There is a reason why you don't ever see really poor, well, maybe you will see poor, good-looking people, but they really won't come off as poor. That is because when you start working on yourself and you start taking care of yourself, people like to say that weight loss is a mental and spiritual experience disguised as a physical experience. Because how I started treating myself on the inside, once I started like really putting in the work, really watching what I eat, going on my 10K steps a day, really doing this, really making sure I took my vitamins every day. Once I started doing that, my whole life started to climb. Like, I think one time at some point this time, I want to say 2 years ago, I was living in my cousin's basement. Like literally, I had to move from my old apartment because I got behind on rent, and I'm like, oh damn, my life is down. I lost my job, etc. It was so much going on with me. I literally had to lock the fuck in, and I said, I'm going to do what I gotta do. And as soon as I started changing myself on the outside and started eating right, taking care of myself, putting myself together, that's when everything started to fall in place with my real life. And I kid you not, most people will have this story for you. Right? All of the things that you're trying to hide behind, all of the things that you're like I've done it all. I got the crowns when I was bigger. Like I went after everything. I signed up for grad school. I'm still not at my goal, but I did everything I could think of to run away from the fact that at the end of the day, I still did not feel good on the outside. Like I felt good on the inside. I had all these accomplishments, all this and that, but I really did not feel physically like I should have felt. I really felt like I was a stranger in my body when I had the extra weight on me. And the first thing I started off with was GLP-1, gave myself a boost, decided that I wanted to do intermittent fasting. You can't really do that on GLP-1s. So I stopped that completely. And then the rest of the weight, the majority and the bulk of the weight, I was like, yeah, good, we're in there. I had comfort patterns. Now I kind of push myself a little bit more. Now I'm not as like a disciplined, and so that's just to tell you, like, it didn't take a whole lot, right? It took consistency. I had consistency, but there's still things, and there's a lot of things I need to improve on. But when it was time to eat, I kept thinking to myself, are you going to choose this person or this person? Are you going to choose this person or this person? That was every single choice. Like I stopped drinking. I put alcohol away. I noticed a major shift in how people treated me. And I want to say, because I had been, athletic my whole life, and then I just gained this whole lot of weight, and then I was able to see what it was like to be adored by people, and then to be completely ignored by people. And it did not feel good. It did not feel good to walk into a room and nobody paid attention to me, or for somebody to kind of give me a look like, okay. Like, it did not feel good. It did not feel good. And what people don't know is, like, they'll say, you shouldn't care what people think. I think you should care what people think to a certain extent that is healthy. But for the most part, so long as you're a human, you're going to want external validation. You are. And unfortunately, that was a part of it. Like, I hated going places. I'm an extrovert. Suddenly, I hated going places. Yeah, it was really dark and it was really sad. And my health was shot. My body was shot. My friendships were shot. And I did notice, though, as I started to lose weight, I started to get the attention that I was used to back. Like, I used to walk into a room and I would get at least this many compliments, or I would get this many men walking up to me. But like, then suddenly I would go out with my friends and they would get all the attention and I didn't. And I had never felt that before. So it was like an out of body experience. It took a lot of discipline and a lot of consistency for me to get to where I was, even when I wasn't able to see the end of the road. Like, I really had to be like, no, one day that girl that you're seeing on camera right now talking about her weight loss, one day that's going to be you. Like, one day you're going to be explaining this to somebody else and they're not going to think that they can do it. And you're going to have to assure them, just like this girl is assuring you and the girl before her assured her. Now you're going to have to assure them that all they have to do is stick to it, is get to it and stick to it. Also, let's talk about the spiritual aspect that happens. Like, we talked about the N-word, yes, but let's talk about the true spiritual aspect that happens when you take care of yourself. One thing that's important to me is self-deification, and that is to kind of bring the inner God outward. To me, that's how I look at it. It's finding the ritual and the beauty in taking care of yourself. It's being able to look at yourself like, wow, I am so in love with who I'm seeing. Like, baby, I'm in love. Like, if I could date myself, I would. And I think every woman and every man should feel the same about themselves to an extent that is healthy. It's about no longer feeling casually in your own body. I did this for 10 years. Like, I did up and down, unable to lose it, unable to keep it off. And baby, it gets hard. And you think maybe I'll do it tomorrow. No, do it today, because you're going to keep fucking up. And what you need to understand is that it is consistency over perfection. is going to be consistency over perfection. Do not do it perfect. Do it every time, though. You might not be able to do it 100, do it 90. If you can't do it 90, do it 80. If you can't do it 80, do it 70. If you can't do it 70, do it 60. If you can't do it 60, do it 50. If you can't do it 50, do it 40. If you can't do it 40, do it 30. If you can't do it 30, do it 20. If you can't do it 20, do it 10. If you can't do it 10, do it 5. That's literally what consistency and discipline truly is. Discipline is not going hard every time. Discipline is being consistent and showing up every time. And I think as a woman, that has to be the best way to go about it for me. We cannot be on the same schedule as men when it comes to discipline. What I can do is, if I can't give it 50, I can give it 20. Consistency over perfection. Do not worry about being perfect. Just worry about doing it. I cannot stress execution over perfection enough. I believe that people have an issue with wanting to do things perfect, so then they don't do anything at all. And that's not how anything in life works. You do need to learn how to do enough to get it done. And understanding that over time, things like taking care of yourself, things like building a ritual, things like finding out what works for you compounds over time. And the beauty is in the process. Self-beautification is essentially self-deification. And that is bringing your inward manifestation of the God that you feel like you are. I see myself as a goddess, I'm gonna be honest, and you're bringing it outward, right? And you're doing things to make sure that you shine on the outside, like you're wearing the colors you want to wear, right? Do what your body tells you to, right? Today, technically, my body told me I didn't want to wear black, but I still wore black. So that's probably why my mic isn't working. And this is my second time filming this. I had that huge disconnect when I wasn't taking care of myself and I wasn't showing up the way that I felt like I should. There is a huge disconnect cognitively to yourself, and there is a disconnect between the mind and the body. When you look in the mirror, you do not see somebody that you feel like you are on the inside. There is a huge disconnect. But let's go back to the 3 things that we're focused on. We're focused on doing a self-audit, understanding where we want to go, like where we want to be, what do we want to look at, what kind of abs and make sure that whatever you're looking at is similar to what you already have, because you should see yourself as beautiful first, right? And then you build upon that for appearance. And then we're going to work on closing that gap. The 3 mirror effect to me is really big when it comes to self-deification. So when I look in the mirror, the first mirror that I look in is the one that is about self. It is a physical mirror, and I am doing a self-audit. Now, I'm not saying pick apart myself, but I'm just doing a mental inventory of where everything is, right? The second mirror is one where I'm asking about my emotions. How do I feel about the person that is in this mirror with me today? Like, how do I feel? How do I truly feel about her? Like, now I'm in love with myself and I haven't changed much. So that lets you know that a lot of this is a mental journey disguised as a physical one. I do not care what people say. Your inner self helps you navigate through the world. Your outer self also helps you navigate through the world. So we're looking at that second mirror and we're like, how do we feel about ourselves? The third mirror is one of aspiration. Like, what can I change a little bit? And sometimes you have nothing to change. Yeah, I want to change that, but we're good. We're good without it, right? But you really have to know where you're going in order to understand how much work you have to do in the interim. And that's going to help you navigate and to help focus on what you're doing for your self-deification. I don't see myself always as a project to work on, but beauty is just something that I'm passionate on. So to me, it's not a project for me to work on myself. To some people, it might be, but I feel like personally, the way that I appear is so important to me that it is a project that is well worth it to me. And I feel like a lot of people should at least feel like the same, to an extent that you appear nicely. Like, so maybe you're not going as like deep as your hyperpigmentation. You're not going as deep as this. That's okay too. Like, I don't think that people and women are meant to be picked apart. Like, right? It's about making you feel better. And if all this is not making you feel better, you're going to have to take a deeper dive to understand why. So as I said, when you navigate the world with your best foot forward, with the way that you look and the way that you come across, 100%, you present your best self and you help yourself align better with the world around you. You help yourself find better opportunities. You help yourself find ease. You're finding more bliss. And there is a reason, I'm going to keep saying it, that people say that when you work out, when you take care of yourself, when you look after yourself, it is a mental game disguised as a physical one. It is an emotional, it is a spiritual game disguised as a physical one. All right, that's all I have for you today. Be kind to yourself and others. Until next time.